We're sitting here at the Institute of University of Jewish Studies in Heidelberg, Germany, and doing our research on manuscripts, Hebrew language, Masorah, and other stuff connected with the history of the Jewish people, or histories and cultures of the Jewish people in plural.
Tell us what you mean by plural histories. There's a world of meaning there, I know there is.
Yes, sure. So, a history in the sense of historiography. Mm-hmm. So you can write different histories.
It's a way of telling history.
Of the same subject, so the way of telling history, so historiography. But also history as something people experience and live in. And every people his own history. And even if you have many persons within one community, you still have many histories.
There's also different tellings of the history, right? There's someone who wrote a famous book called I think it was called The History of Israel, and then another person came along and wrote a history of Israel to say, well, this isn't the history, it's just one way of telling.
This is the first meaning you allude to, it's about the historiography, but also you have different stories and different...
Tell people who don't know what historiography is.
Historiography is the way of, it's a scholarship of writing history, of writing books about history. Writing research about the things which have been experienced by other people.
So I think the layman thinks of history as this is what happened. And historiography is the way of telling that, essentially.
That's true, but even if you think about history, about what has happened, if I ask you both about the same event, we will get two different accounts about it. So even people remember things differently, but then within the community, the way people remember things is also dependent on how you retell the things in the community to each other and what is the cultural memory which is made by these different views of the same experience.
Now, Victor here has the distinction to be, I think it's accurate to say, the person who has examined the Leningrad Codex more than anyone else alive. Certainly more times, am I right?
That could be true, well, yes.
Oh, it's definitely true. Certainly let's say from the people who understand Hebrew, right? Maybe it was technically examined by someone who was fumigating it or something like that, but who actually studied the Hebrew text. Who else alive has studied it as many times and as extensively as... In the original, I mean, it's you.
Thank you for paying attention to this quality of mine. I'm not sure if it's important, but... Well, I look at the things and I try to publish about my findings. So I still have a lot of things to publish about the minutiae of vocalization, accentuation, dagesh, and other points. Recently.
Can you tell us about the famous dagesh in Abimelech? I've told the story many times, but now you're the source.
Well,
this is an impromptu interview, unintended.
It's unintended, yes. So I should recollect my memory first. Well. February 2011, I was in St. Petersburg and I was studying there.
Russia, not Florida.
Right? Russia, not Florida.
Right? I actually recently wrote to a rabbi in Israel about these Torah scrolls that were just discovered in a synagogue in St. Petersburg. And this is a person who deals with manuscripts every day. And after a few days, he said, I thought you meant Florida.
Well, there are many other St. Petersburg cities in some others, not many, but some others in the United States. Yes, so it's St. Petersburg, Russia, Russian Federation, National Library of Russia, former called Saltykov-Shchedrin.
That's the former name of the library?
Yeah, so it's a Russian author from the 19th century.
In the 19th century it was called Shchedrin?
No, it was Imperial Library, and in the Soviet time it was called Saltykov-Shchedrin Library. Okay. And now it's a National Library of Russia. And it has, as we know, different to say if the biggest or if the collection of the most important Hebrew biblical manuscripts, as you know. But we have there more dated manuscripts than in other libraries.
Combined, right?
Could be.
I think you said that.
I'm not quite sure at the moment, but it could be, yes. So, in any case, the famous, what we call Leningrad Codex, the manuscripts of the Hebrew Bible dated or written in 1008 or 9 is stored there.
You have been listening to Hebrew Voices. To hear the rest of this conversation, head over to nehemiaswall.com and become a support team member today.